Hey, it's your girl Sharice Taylor, and you are inside Studio C. Today, we are going to talk about finding and embracing the unique voice and presence that you have as a musical artist. We're going to tie it into, for those of you that are not singers, musicians, and the like, we're going to tie that in and talk about how that's applicable to all of us a little bit later on. But let's focus on the musical aspect of it. Sometimes it seems like there are, well, not sometimes, all the time in music, there are trends. There are things that seem really popular and trendy to do and be in one spread of time, and then you'll have a few years go by and something else is in. So remember we had, well, some of you may be too young to remember, but we had the great Motown era, and then we had the disco era, and then we had the techno, punk, funk, rock thing going on. There were different things that were going on in the 70s and 80s in regards to R&B music with pop music. And so sometimes musical artists find that they have to reinvent themselves several times throughout their career to stay trending now and to stay current. And they may do that, but when you are doing that, it's very important to remember that you don't want to lose your authenticity. You don't want to lose the essence of who you are as an individual. And one of my coworkers said this so beautifully. There is a time to imitate, and then there is a time to innovate. And so when we're just starting, you know that I am very big about finding mentors and finding your dream team, people who can kind of coach you and teach you and guide you along the way. And sometimes when we find those people, we tend to copy a little bit. We might, do a little bit of what they do as far as commanding the stage, as far as our vocal delivery, our musicianship, and things of that nature. But you want to concentrate and build your own unique presence. And so that really comes from just getting in touch with who you are and your personality, the things that make you you. You want to really get in touch with that. And that takes, sometimes it takes some self-reflective work. Sometimes it takes feedback and input from people that know and love you, who you can trust to give you some honest feedback. What are the things that make you unique? What are the things that make you you? And so you want to cultivate those things and put those into your musical presence, into your musical performance and show, because that's what is going to be appealing and draw people. And we have a lot of carbons, in my opinion, right now in the music industry across all genres, but especially in our pop music. We have a lot of people like, who is that? I can't really tell who that is. Is that Sierra or is that Ashanti? Is that, you know what I mean? So it's really about, and those two actually don't sound anything alike to me, but just a random example. But you want to make sure that you are standing out and that you are bold enough to stand in your presence. I have a friend, his name is Tony Mallory, and he is a praise and worship leader at Faith Church, actually. And he has such a unique imprint, such a unique presence. And he does his own thing. He definitely does his own thing. And I have several friends like that. And that's what I appreciate about them. I would start shouting out to a lot of them, but then I end up forgetting somebody. But what I appreciate about Tony and about many of my other friends in the field of praise and worship in music, I recently had the opportunity to meet Miss Kim Massey, who was absolutely fantastic, and what a unique presence and voice she has. as far as her musical delivery. So, what I admire about all of them, getting back to my point, is that they are bold enough to stand out and be unique. And so it's great for us to learn from each other and to dip and dab. And what you want to do is create a potpourri, if you will, that is uniquely you and has your unique fragrance to it. And so you want to be able to add that little zippity doo dah, ooh la la, for audiences to see and to hear, that's appealing and that will keep them coming back. You don't want to sound just like Beyonce or just like Adele or just like Usher or just like Christina or whomever. You want to develop your own voice. One of the things that helped me is that I started to write my own music. Write my own lyrics, I write my own melodies at the age of 14. And I find in reflecting back on that catalog of music that it has my own unique voice. And so I deliver that music a little bit differently than I do when I do a cover of another song. And it's just really important that you try to pour in your individuality when you are performing and when you are singing. Whether or not we're talking about your stage presence or we're talking about your vocal delivery, that's really important. I think that this is applicable to everybody, everywhere, because we are all uniquely and wonderfully crafted and made by our Creator. And, He gives us all these unique fingerprints. And I think He was speaking to us and saying that there's only one you. There's only one you, and I have made you for a time such as this to share who you are, what you are, your talents, your passions, your gifts with the world in a very special way. So I challenge you today to find out who you are as an artist. Find out who you are as an individual, as a businessman, a businesswoman, as a mother, a father, and make that work for you. Make that pizzazz and that zippity doo-dah work for you, and find a way to share it with those around you, whether it be your direct family, your neighborhood, your church community, the world at large, whatever God gives you as far as your circle of influence, and however He decides to expand your territory, share who you are, be proud of who you are as a unique individual. I hope that you will join me again next week for Inside Studio C. We'll be shifting gears a little bit, and we're going to talk about songwriting a little bit more in depth. That is something we haven't touched on here inside Studio C. So I want to talk about the art of crafting a song. Until next time, remember to sing from the heart and that the best is yet to come. Take care. Bye-bye.